We want to have a very, very informative chat concerning a man many claim to be a great mystic. And also, we would look at what was given to the masses, especially those who have been colonized, those who have been conquered, and those who have been divided and do not know who they are, neither their true identity, what was given to them, and what was the agenda behind what was given to them. You see, if we be honest, okay, to claim that Neville Goddard was a great mystic, you have to add LOL to that. It's a joke. And I'm going to show you why it's a joke, okay? And when your eyes are open, you will know the truth. And the truth is what will set you free. Okay? That is why I feel so free to speak on the biggest joke of the century. You see, there's a people on this planet who's playing a certain role, and you have to understand that you have to play your role also. So, understanding the law of opposite or the law of polarity is very important. That is why whatever they say to you or whatever they try to tell you, you have to understand the parody behind of it, okay? As I said, everyone have to play their role. You see, you can't have light and you don't have darkness. You can't have the truth without there be the lie. That's why I'm here to show you the lie and to show you how much it is a great joke. It's the biggest joke of the century. I've heard many people refer to Neville Goddard as a great mistake, and all I do is laugh. I laugh. And the reason why I laugh is because you have to be very much delusional to really accept what was given to you through the media and their propaganda when you know who you are. You see, everything that is great and uplifting, they put a picture to it. But the real brand is this. They can't change this brand. All the things that are in this earth to prove who we are, they try to destroy. So what they do, they try to tell you, well, a man who looked like me took a man like Neville and taught him how to live this life as being free and being an overcomer and how to live an enlightened life. And people really buy into that. And the story goes that there was a certain pater named Abdallah. And if you're that stupid and gullible, you wouldn't know that they're playing a game on you. And the real mystic is you. We are the great mystics on this planet. And when we awake, we will expose all the lies. You see, the reason why I'm really doing this is because as a melanated man with spiritual eyes and spiritual ears and spiritual discernment, I could know when someone is downplaying you in a very subtle way. Okay? And all the people who accept the lie about Abdullah being Neville's mentor and that he came from Ethiopia, they're hiding the story, the real Ethiopian story from you. They're hiding the story of your identity from you because they're acting and stolen identity. They are pretending to be the one with the melanin code. They're pretending to be the ones who is associated with the spark from the sun. They are trying to tell you they're the people of the sun. They're trying to tell you that they are earth rightful owners and rulers when they could only rule on the physical temporal plane. That's their part. You can't be angry against people for playing their part. And what is your part? You have to know your part. Well, when it comes to the spiritual world, the world that they don't want you to discover, when it comes to the world of the invisible, that they don't want you to discover, you have to know how important melanin is in the spiritual, astral, celestial, terrestrial world. The super highway, the intelligence of all intelligence depends on the activation of the melanin code that is within you. And so, just to be a little bit sarcastic and to have fun and to laugh, I really have to laugh. All the great philosophers, all the great mystics, all the great men, they were void of melanin. That's what they're telling you now. They didn't look like me. They look like those people. They look like Neville and them. They look like Joseph Murphy, Joel Goldstein, you name it. William Atkinson, you name it. They call all these men great. They call it, and nothing wrong with people honoring the ancestors and calling them great. Where are the melanated mystics then? Where are the melanated Christ? I have to laugh every time I walk in the city and I look at the businesses from Neville Goddard family and the other families. Okay, and what they did in all their times and what they're continuing to do, it makes me laugh. So when I hear certain people on YouTube, I heard a man named David Bear and many of those other people, okay, who look like Neville Goddard, they say, oh, Neville Goddard was a great mistake. Where is your mystical arts? Where are your mystical sciences? Where are they? Where is your spiritual science? Where are the proof of it? So you're telling me you're the one who built the pyramids. You're the one who ruled the Nile Valley, the Mesopotamia Valley, and so on. You are the one. Even in my country, there's a place called Mesopotamia and Mesopotamia Valley. Why? Because we traveled the world. Melanated people, we traveled the entire world because we were here before anyone else. We had that intelligence and still have that intelligence and that DNA. They all making in Mexico and all of these places. Everywhere we go, we leave a language of symbology in stones and in things that right now, all the science and technology they claim to have, they still can't unravel these things. Yet, Neville Goddard is a great mystic. Watch a joke. It's the biggest joke of this century, I'm telling you. It's the biggest joke of this century. He say, oh, what man name Abdullah? Whatever Abdullah family is. Neville Goddard's family just recently in Barbados You had a man named Richard Goddard who died, who was part of Neville Goddard's family too. Okay, Neville had a father, he had a mother. Why is Abdullah father and mother? And why Abdullah? Okay, the first part is slave or servant, Ab. This man is downplaying the melanated man in a very subtle way because of his brotherhood. You see, Neville represent the rose and the cross. So, if he's a great mystic, why being a part of a secret brotherhood? No great mystic, don't be that man. When a mystic finds himself, he doesn't even know what is taking place at the time. He have no prior knowledge of what is happening. That is why all the people on the internet who saying, oh, do this, do that. You thought I'm going to open this, not going to open. Don't believe them. He who knows don't speak, and he who speak don't know. It means that experience is a secret. And when it comes to the secret of the new birth, why the same people who said, oh, Neville was a great mystic and this was a great mystic, why they have the masses going down in water and coming back out of water and call it that is baptism? It's a lie. So I'm here to tell you, it's a lie and it's a joke. Okay, it makes no sense. Okay, it's all nonsense. You see, to unravel Neville Goddard is to unravel Chauvel Shin, Florence Chauvel Shin, Genevieve Brehen, man, you name it. It's too much to mention. All these people that they put up on the internet where they tell you they were great men and they were great women. They were bestsellers. They wrote this book, they wrote that book and all of that. And they give them titles. The same thing with the Jesus idol that they paint like themselves to fool the masses. And, you know, people can come on and dislike, but they can't stay. Because why? They can't take the truth. You understand? They can't handle the truth. If Neville Goddard was a great mystic, then who am I? I have to laugh. Neville Goddard, a great mystic. A scripted mystic. Do you realize Neville Goddard is a scripted mystic? You realize the biggest mistake they ever make is incorporate a melanated man in their lives. Because if you was to think a melanated man also show this man all these things that he claimed, okay, then you have to say that melanated man is a sellout. That means he sell out the West, all the brothers and sisters. And if he was a part of the rose and the cross, you know what I'm telling you? It is telling you that those who look like you been selling you all along for the crumbs that fall from the table. And that's why truth like this, many people can't handle truth like this. You see, when you check out the whole teaching and that Neville Goddard would have talked about or taught, it's something that takes place every day. Every single day. But to put themselves up there, they have to always be lying. The Neville, real mentor, isn't a man who look like me. Don't make them fool you. That's why they can't give you the name of Abdullah mother, Abdullah father. And if they can't do that, well then Abdullah have to be like a Melchizedek, without any beginning and without no end, without no mother, no father, and so on. But then how Abdullah just become Abdullah? Just a mentor. But Neville is a great mistake. Watch a mistake. Watch a mistake. Watch a mistake. It's a mistake. And many people can't handle this truth. Neville Goddard was a fool. Yeah, was a fool. He played the part of a fool. You see, many people do not realize that Neville Goddard played the part of the fool. Many people do not realize that Neville came to play his part. And I came to play my part too. Okay? That is why I am the only person who have the balls to show you that Neville Goddard is a liar. Just like all of his ancestors. They have always lied, and they will continue to lie because that is just who they are. They can't change. So I'm not doing this video to try to change anything. I'm not trying to change the system. I'm just here to fulfill. I'm here to bring the truth that will set people free. Because I am free. Because when you know the truth, okay, the truth will set you free. You will see all of the chops. You will see all of the lies. You see the things that are not adding up. For example, if you look at the Bible that they give to all the countries and the people that they colonize, they show you the first man, the first woman. They wasn't melanated. They look like them. They had pale skin. and they was in a dark earth with all the dark soil that grows everything, all the food for us to eat, but they were pale skin. Then they show all the characters in the Bible. The Abraham, the Isaac, the this, the that. They all represent the pale man. That's what they tell you. So everything that is great doesn't look like us. It look like them. So you telling me up to this day you living on this planet, you can't figure out the lie? You telling me you do not have enough strength and backbone to call these people liars? You can't see that they're deceivers. You can't see that all they could talk about is the physical realm, the three-dimensional realm, money and all of these things that is just not real. It's just an illusion. And they're swapping your energy and feeding your energy to the archons, to the church system. So the church system and the secret brotherhood, they all feeding the archons, you know, with your energy. So they take it one way and they take it another way. So if you're a gullible, melanated person who have a lack and scarcity mentality, you have a colonial mindset and so on, and probably you attend university or you go somewhere and someone give you an invitation and say, come, I want to invite you to a meeting. And you go to a meeting and they tell you thing and they say, hey, you have to make oath, and so on. Don't tell the others, keep it a secret. And then they do, they say, oh, let me just give you the story publicly. So you go speak certain thing publicly, okay, but you wouldn't be able to operate unless the establishment give you license to operate, and everything will be duty free for you, okay, and tax free for you because they will give you gift. You put the people under certain enchantment, okay, and under certain spell, and they will bring the money for you, and we wouldn't tax you for the money. Okay, you're orators, preachers, pastors, televangelists. You can have even your own airport. Okay? All of that belongs to you. That's all they could offer you now. You realize that's all they could offer you? They can't offer nothing spiritual to you. So I know when they talk about Neville Goddard being some great mystic, it's a lie. And I have to speak about the lie. Neville Goddard is not what you think he is or who you think he is. He's been scripted. Okay? He's been scripted. He was given certain books, certain manuals. Okay? He knew exactly who we are, just like many others who know who we are. And that is why, as I sit here and speak to you, okay, it might not look like they have fallen from their place, but they have. They have the biggest businesses right now in my country, yet they are the lowest place, spiritually speaking, because the people will grab hold of this truth, which they are trying to suppress, and they're doing everything in their power so this information will not get out there to the public. Because you see, Neville Goddard is a very, 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 very strong figure in the esoteric new thought and self-development space and so on. Okay. That's why when I start to speak about Neville Goddard, they make sure they shadow ban me on these platforms. They make sure, okay, they're afraid. Because once you already wake up from this dream and you experience the real new birth, you will definitely know their lies. You'll be able to expose their idols, and you will be able to expose all the men that they show forth to the public as great. They're not great. They're just plagiarizers. You see, certain books were stolen. Certain books are hidden right now. Okay. And because of that lie, you always have to cover up a lie with a lie, and cover up a lie with a lie, and cover up a lie with a lie. We have always had a bloodline of mystics. We are the ones who know for sure that there are energy vampires on this planet that are feeding off the people energy. All these churches that was built in the Caribbean by Europeans. You chase back the origin of how these churches were set up, and you will see the people who are behind of them. Children of the archons. So basically, what is really going on in this world is that those who can supply the archons with energy, certain energy. So when you're under the energy of guilt, shame, judgment, condemnation, doubt, fear, is food for the archons. It is food for the demiurge. So what happened? They give melanated people the demiurge to worship. And so melanated people worshiping the demiurge. And they're living under archonic influence. That's why they will always have to struggle in life. They always have to sell themselves short. They want to go viral on these platforms, they have to sell themselves. They wanted me to sell myself. You can't buy a waking man. You can't buy a man who's already enlightened, a man who already wake up from the dream. And I will say it again and again. There's a video on YouTube where they claim men who experience enlightenment, but no man look like me there. No man look like me there. They have man named Rupert Spira. They have Moji. They have Sanko. What your boy? What your joke? What your joke? And when you really see these people and you realize the lie, and you realize all these people claiming to be so wise, you really, really study them, they will make you laugh. And They would think that you hate them when you don't hate them. They just cannot deal with the truth. They just cannot face the truth. That is why I personally cannot understand melanated people who could sit on a podcast or sit on some sort of other platform, and just because they're getting views and they decide to put their work out there, they're gonna sit and they're gonna fail to ask certain things, they're gonna fail to say certain things, they'll be afraid. I realize so much that death is so much inevitable, and I have to embrace it. That you mustn't afraid of death, especially when you experience death. Do you know the new birth is really a death? Is it really a death? So really, the lies would always turn around to haunt these people, because when they paint everything that was great to look like them, and one like myself awake, one eye's dead ever. Eyes a pain in their ass. Because why? Every time I open my mouth, I'm spitting truth. And then there's so much people who've lost their minds who would say, oh, color is not important. Who says so? Who fooled you to tell you that color and the complexion of your skin is not important? Who fooled you? Who bewitched you to tell you it's not important? There's a chain of hotels called Sandals. And where the Sandals is in my country right now was black sand beaches. Was a black sand beach. And the black sand came because of the volcanic eruptions. And so in my country, there are white sand beaches and there are black sand beaches. You know what they did? They took all of they took white sand that they bought and threw it over the black sand. That's how much color mean to them. When the sun and the seashore, you just walk on that, you just trample that. But the dirt that the coconut trees and all of the other trees I'm seeing right now that they grow in look just like me. Just like how I look here. And you're telling me color doesn't matter? It matters. Okay. And that is why they'll never associate a great mystic with a complexion like mine. With a complexion like Neville. Tell the Neville Goddard was a great mystic. The great mystic Neville Goddard. Oh, Neville Goddard is a joke. Joseph Murphy is a joke. Man, you name them. There's so much of them. They are jokers. Because when you see through your spiritual eyes and you behold the lie, let me tell you this, plain and straight, there's no enlightened, melanated man who could sit down and keep quiet and ain't speak these things. Anyone you hear say they enlightened, this and that, and they can't speak these things, they lie. They're liars. If you hear they can't talk about race, they're liars. No real enlightened, awakened, melanated man will ever live his life and ain't speak about race and the race game and complexion of skin and all of these things and colonialism and the liars and pretenders, the frauds. They're frauds. I'm not gonna sit here and try to be nice. I can see true these people. These people really just make me laugh. They're a joke. Never Goddard is my laughing stock. Yeah, he's great. I'm not here to try to pull down no one. I'm just here to speak the truth. As an enlightened, melanated man, I grew up and was taught that I came from slave. I was taught in a colonial colony. My mind was colonized. I spent 25 years in secular Christianity looking outwardly. So you tell me, when my eyes open and I taste freedom I'm going to be afraid of death. I'm going to be afraid of anything. You can't die if you never live. I'd rather die a hero than a coward. I ain't dying no fool. I ain't dying as no tool. I ain't putting on no jest. Me no Kevin Hart. Me no Martin Lawrence and them. Me want no Hollywood fame. I mean play no game. That's why all the so-called leaders in the Caribbean, political leaders, they're puppets, you know. Africa, puppets. They're all feeding their people and the masses all together to a non-physical entity that based on certain signs of technology, you could pick them up and see them, you know. They're feeding the masses to these entities. And then these entities exchange certain times and technology to them. You talk about scientists and intelligence, and you separate yourself and believe you have some special people. No, they fractionize us. They put us in different fraction. But I could operate in anyone. So, Neville Goddard, the great mystic and philosopher. I watch a joke. So all these white people who like to talk about Neville Goddard being great and talk about many of the different ancestors they being great, you know, those who you're a step ahead. They are always a step ahead of certain people who are still asleep, and people who haven't awakened, they are a step ahead of you. So you would look and you would say, yeah, oh, Neville said that first. This boy said that first. Daddy trick, they want to trick you. So if I awake from the dream of life, if the eye actually open within me and all of that, if everything he say, I experience and more, I would know what is hidden, why he's hiding. And I would know what is scripted. There's a bunch of scripted knowledge going on. There's a bunch of regurgitated knowledge going on. Repackaged, let me call it repackaged knowledge. All these people that they tell you they were so great and they had esoteric and this knowledge and they were so gifted. You realize all the people who are gifted and all of these things, they're not melanated like we, they don't look like we. It's just these people. These people are so great. They're the greatest in the athletics too, you know. they are the greatest boxers too, you know. They are the greatest martial artists too, you know. And people sit down and watch movies and so on, and they look at all of the acting and they believe they really like that. Not true. You know, I remember quite vividly, right? One time meet a big woman trying to indoctrinate some children and try to give them shock and tell them about Jesus. Okay? And I got very angry. I was coming from the mountain from jogging spring water. And I started chant that woman. Say, look at you, trying to indoctrinate the children with your bullshit that they brainwash you with and talking about Jesus and try to give the children shock. I said, that's why the children will always believe that Jesus was a white man and never believe Jesus was black. The children started me, the children started with me, no, you lied. Jesus can't be black. Jesus is not black. I said, yeah. I said, children, I asked them, children, what color is Jesus? They said, Jesus is a white man. I said, no, Jesus is not a white man. He's black. The children said, no. I said, you see what I'm telling you? I said, miss, you see what I'm telling you? That's why they're brainwashing the children and to tell the children and give the children false belief. So they won't believe in themselves. So everything that was great, everything that was powerful, they brand it as white. But one thing you can't change is this brand. So why they break off all of the noses, or the statue. I'm trying to look for the right one. Okay. They break off their noses. They try to change the brand. Can't change the brand, man. So my brother and my sisters, don't make them fool you with this whole Neville Goddard thing. And the reason I'm talking about this Neville Goddard thing and joking is a joke. Okay, I will continue to laugh at this whole Neville Goddard agenda thing. You understand? From now until I leave this planet, because I know it's a lie. Okay, and the reason for that is because he tried to downplay melanated people by telling them he was trained by Abdullah, or mentored by Abdullah, and Abdullah mean a servant of God, and never tells you that a voice spoke and he say, and God walk with them. I will always quote that. You see, I'm not saying anything against anyone, but I'm just quoting what they say. I'm just reiterating what Neville would have said. And I'm just reiterating what I would have heard many white men and women would have said concerning Neville Goddard being a great mystic and so on. And I heard Neville Goddard said a lot of stuff. And I'm telling you, some of the things he says. He said, and a voice spoke and he said, and God walk with them. And the woman at his side said, and if God walk with them, where is he? And he said, at thy side. And the woman looked at him and laughed and said, you mean to say that Neville is God? And the voice said, yes. In the act of awakening. Well, in the act of awakening, who I be? Who I be? Who am I? Tell me. All you folks, tell me, who am I then in the act of awakening? You see, your own, this is why you take, when you take Goliath's sword and you cut off Goliath's head, the place of intelligence you're talking about with your own sword. Me have nothing fast to say against these people, just exactly what they say, what they put in the books. You could take everything these people write in their books and just use reverse psychology and see the lie. They expose themselves. So we're not here to fight and destroy no one. They're going to destroy themselves. When their children start to wake up and start to see the lies, they're going to be angry. America would face a civil war. When these people who are given certain privilege wake up and realize that they were brainwashed and deceived by their own, they were lied to by their own, they would want us to join with them, but we're not going to join. You understand? Because when things were happening in their favor, they never joined with us. But I'm telling you, if you believe in any Messiah and you look like me, just look in the mirror. Bro, I'm telling you, the happiest feeling you'll have in this life is when you discover the power of your melanin. I don't talk melanin, me no well-informed, educated man with a bunch of books and so on, that's how they fool you for make you believe, I speak from experience. So, if I have an experience and never came to have the same kind of experience, right? And yet they put in our school system an agenda that says that we are inferior, if you read between the lines. How is it? When it comes to the awakening, when it comes to the great mystic, oh man like me, because I have the experience and more. Let me tell you something. I met more than one experience I would have had with these kind of people, okay? And you know who I'm speaking about. Okay, the headquarters is in Utah. Okay, now I was coming in the Caribbean islands and all the other islands and pretend. Okay, when they say Judas beat you with a kiss, these are the people, man. They'll act like the most loving people to you. You understand? They beat you with a kiss. You understand? Act like the most loving people. But these people, they have on their shirt the last testament of Jesus. That's written on the shirt. And have a picture of a blonde hair. You understand, boy? Okay? And they call themselves Mormons. They throw out all the islands and all of these places. And they skin and grin and laugh at the people, and the people think, oh, they are loving, they're spies, you know. Yeah, man, they look around to see how much people in the program, in the monkey program. They've been running a monkey program, you know. Yeah, they've been running a monkey program on a monkey farm. Yeah. A sheep farm. That's why they pay themselves and as the shepherd. And you the sheep. You know sheep, you know how ignorant and stupid a sheep is? You know, a sheep is the dumbest animal. And all of these melodies, the people who go to church, they're sheep, you know, part of the herd. And then they give you a song sing. Old MacDonald at a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on the farm, what kind of farm you think you have? And the E-I-E-I-O represents the 666. The power 9. And they ruling using the power 9 over you. And living over like a farm. And how you singing a song. And they mark you. There's a quack quack here and a quack quack there, quack here, quack everywhere, quack quack. Old MacDonald at the farm. Then they say, "Chi blind mice. See how they run." Then they tell you, "Baba, black sheep, have you any wool?" You see? Black sheep. "Baba, black sheep, have you any wool?" And they say, "Yes, sir, Chi bag full." They say, "One for who? The master. And one for who? The Dane. And one for the little boy who live down the lane." They teach the children everything. You know, the kind of educational system they have in the Caribbean, they never change it. From children, from you go back to me great grandmother and them, to me grandmother, to me mother, to now, the same thing. Same program, they never change the program. They still children singing the same stupid ass songs. Because why the program works. So they could elevate themselves over you. So never say that the voice said that Neville is God in Yak of Awakening. Why does that voice need to vindicate Neville? People get things in their dream about who me be, man. In their dream. I didn't ever come and do a video and say a voice speak and say, and you know what happened? Let me say this again too. Okay? Because I ain't going no more than an hour. I remember meeting a man. As a matter of fact, let me finish with those people, with those Mormons people. Okay? When I challenge them and I look at the guy in the face, knowing that he leave Utah with a program, okay? I beat my chest. I watch him straight in the eyes. And I say, I am God. I am God. Who are you? I broke him. I broke him. Because I know how to deal with the imposter. You know what the imposter say? I am God. I say, so why? And you're sure it says the last testament of Jesus. Why are you going around and telling my people what you're telling them? But yet, in my face, you're saying you're God. Because you're jealous of me, knowing that I'm God. So you have to show yourself. And I catch them. I catch him. Because why? I know the truth. And when you know the truth, you'll be set free. Okay? And you speak as a free man. Do you realize if you look at a child, when a child is a certain age, it just repeat back everything that has been said and it adapts its environment? Do you realize that people who are 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, and they're still in that program of repeating? I call it parrotism. It means they haven't grown one day in life. They haven't think one day for themselves. And you know that most melanated people who goes to church and jump up and make an ass out of themselves with a monkey behavior. And then those who join the secret brotherhood, making an ass out of themselves and selling their own. That's why when it comes to selling, blacks selling blacks, Okay, let me put it that way so you understand. Melanated people selling melanated people, it never stopped. That's why these people all use it as an alibi for slavery. You know? To say, oh, black people, melanated people was enslaving their people all the time. And if you understand there's only now, you know what they're saying is a half truth. Because they always speak half truth. Because that's the part they have to play. So don't try to change them. Just understand them and what they are doing. If you want to be a free melanated person and you want to see through and through Neville Goddard and the many others, but if you unfold Neville, you unfold the others because a lot of them build from there. That's why Joe Dispenza cut off from the Neville and come up with the own thing, you know. Talk about neuroscience and heart and brain and coherence and all of that. Yeah, don't get ticking without the sun, you know. A clock don't get ticking without sun, you know. Time is an illusion. And when you know that you are beyond the confusion, and they keep the masses in confusion and false identification, and you speak like a free man, you know you're going to die as a free man too. You no longer chop on this old plane and be fed to the archons and keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. So, my brother and my sisters, don't make the fool with this whole Neville Goddard agenda. From since I started to expose to you know, they put up a bunch of videos talk about Abdullah. They even put a AI melanated man they call Abdullah too. Yeah, their argument is so weak. It is so stupid. In the time of Great Depression, a melanated man had all the knowledge to live life at the highest level. And he thought he's son of a slave master. All these people were slave masters. All these people that own plantation in the islands and so on. They grab a hold of the esoteric understanding of the Bible, the metaphysical understanding of the Bible, the psychological understanding of the Bible. They had access to other books that were hidden. These are the same people who build a state where they call Israel. The same kind of people. And they're all over the world. And people cannot recognize them. But you have to put on your glasses. And you know they live. They live among us. They live among us. It's like an aeroplane. It needs a certain fuel. Okay. To move at a certain speed. Well, these entities, they need energy to move at a certain speed. So you can see them. And depends on what kind of aura you have. They definitely want to harvest and reap from you as much as possible. You see, a day like today is a big reaping day for them. Where all these monkeys gather in the churches. With the fear and the guilt and the shame and the judgment and the condemnation from the demiurge. The real God is within you. The false God is outside of you. And who point you to the false God? And the same people who point you to the false God outside of you turn around now and want to point you to the God in you while they put themselves in a place of prominence. You see how the chicken work? It's a real tricky thing, you know. So there are melanated people who could talk about the esoteric, they could do all of this, all of that. They could even join the brotherhoods and do all of these kind of things, right? And they still chop, they soul chop. Once you allow these people to play your part, you have to play their part. That's the trick. That's why I play in my part as a deliverer. I come here to open the eyes of the blind, the ears of the deaf. I come here to help the dumb to speak. Because there's a lot of dummies on this planet. That's why they chop the people in a realm whereby they live in survival mode, just chasing after money. And you know what the so-called puppet leaders in the Caribbean tell the people, oh, to build the economy, we have to use tourism. And so they depend on a set of people coming certain time of the year when there's winter and so on, they bring tourist ships and so on. And these people, oh my God, it's slavery. It's a shameful thing when people do not know who they are and they do not know that they are the real value. They sell themselves so short. And then they have these people who they call tour guides, towing them and carry them to the places of interest. And they're telling them what their ancestors tell them to tell their children. And they come to entertain. It's an entertaining game. They would have taken out the eye of Samson. They cut the locks. They cut you off from the communication link between the top of your head and the base of your spine. They cut you off from that. And they give you a bunch of information. So you know Neville is a setup, an information setup. We Neville could offer you outside manifestation thing. Why you think all of these people talk about Neville that they are just about manifest and money? Why you think it's just about that? So you're going to gain this wall. You're going to lose your own soul. Why they ain't teaching the inner sun science like me? Why they ain't talking about the inner eye like me? And the reason why many people walk away from Neville when he was speaking along that line, because, you know what I mean, because it's so much about a scripted thing. You understand? It's not even going to resonate with the people. The people just going to go with the path of getting things. Okay? Because that basically was the main thing too. That's why they pushed that. But because this knowledge of which I'm speaking about have always been known in Ethiopia and by our ancestors. Okay? And because this is in our DNA, doesn't matter how long it takes, it would and must be activated. As long as there's a sun in the sky, our DNA must and will always be activated. That's why they want to black out the sun. The power in you that makes you a great athlete. The power that allows you to jump so high as a basketball player. The power that would put you on the Olympic track and field and allow you to be someone who's cheating, who's injecting themselves. This is the power of which I speak. This is the intelligence of which I speak. That's why I know they could never produce. Don't make them fool you, they lie. So it was no great mistake. It was a great mistake. Okay. There's a lot of things I could go into and show you. You understand? All of the lies. You see, many people wasn't open up to the understanding of the law. Okay, the law of sowing and reaping. and the power of the conscious and the subconscious mind and so on. And so when they never speak about manifesting and so on and all of that, it's new to them. But when you have the experience of which I am speaking about, as a melanated man who been trapped in secular Christianity and who been trapped in this tomb and didn't know, and then you awake in that tomb, you realize that they are acting in a way that as if they would all be ahead of you. So some idiot will always say, oh, Neville said that before. This Paul said that before. That's the game they're playing. That's why if you listen to me, instead you try to chase money, seek to get in touch with your ancestors. Seek to get in touch with entities that are right here that you're not seeing. They could appear to you in dreams. You could be taping like how I taping here right now and speaking, and you could see them. You could capture them on film. And they're always too kind. Those that want to enlighten you and uplift you, and those who want to just feed off of your energy. I'm telling you. So my brother, my sisters, no wonder why LNG White, all of these people, children of the Archons. I'm afraid to say that. And they build all these religious bodies to feed melanated people and the melanin energy to these entities. And they get reward for them. And you think they're brighter than you. And you think they're superior. And you think they're more intelligent. They're not, no, they're not intelligent. When you start to break through certain realm and start to get certain communication from your ancestors and certain things start to open up to you, you realize they're not intelligent people. No, they're not. No intelligent one would want to ever black out the sun, okay? So, my brother, my sisters, let me just read these comments here. Neville is not who you think he is, okay? That's basically what I'm saying, okay? That's why every time I walk in the city and I see their businesses, it make me laugh. And all the other businesses, okay? And all of the ruling class in all the islands and the pattern. You can't fool me. Okay, I ain't stupid. Okay? But I'm telling you, just like you could go to a gas station and get gas for your vehicle and so on, the churches are the places where these archons feed so much. I'm telling you. These entities, okay, the Gnostics call them archons and so on, but for me, name any name, it doesn't matter as long as you know through experience that these things are real. Any name could add to them. I call them energy vampires. I'm telling you. They're feeding your energy to entities. Your political leaders, they're doing it. Your religious leaders, they're doing it. They're feeding you to certain entities. I remember, let me just say this. I remember one time, a Saturday, this massive Adventist church you have in my country, right in the city. And I deliberately walk right in front of the door while they're having so I go right to the front of the door, and every man eye turned towards me. Every one of them, including the man on the pulpit. And I test every living person that was in that church energy, and I'm telling you, the fear, I could sense it, I could feel it. It's warm. I don't know how to describe it, and that's what these non-physical entities feeding, and it's power for them, it's strength for them, it empowers them to even move, as I tell you, even more faster and so on, at the speed of light and faster. Okay, and I sense what they're feeding on, and I did it consciously. So I'm telling you, church, when all of those people gather, And that energy of guilt and shame and judgment and condemnation and doubt and fear, man, something else. Telling you. Someone says hello, greetings to you too. Grand rising to you also, grand rising. Somebody say you look the image of Derek Chisora. I do not know who's that person. Someone says know thyself, which is the real thing. Okay, and that's what they don't want you to know. Okay, thyself. Okay, so they give you all kind of idol. They make Neville Goddard an idol. Okay, so from Jesus to Neville Goddard to William Branham, all of these people. I remember channel William Branham and meet William Branham in Woodland. And Neville, and just like William Branham and Neville Goddard, they all belong to secret society, get knowledge from secret society, and some of them go into the esoteric side with the same brainwash, okay, and some go into the secular Christianity side with the same brainwash. You see how smart they are? And this man, William Branham, he was trained by a man named Roy E. Davis. And he was the imperial wizard at the KKK. And he was part of the Masons too. Okay. And I remember one night listening to the man, not knowing who he was. That time there was cassette tapes. The man William Branham. And my ancestors contacted me and they told me to just a certain way and to lie down. And that I would be given a dream. And my ancestors gave me a dream and showed me the fake Christ, which is the pale skin image they give you. They show me that the pale skin man is a deceiver and a liar. And I couldn't recognize it at the time. And so I end up and I follow the whole teaching of this man named William Branham, who they say was last, the prophet and so on, for 7 years. And I was able to unfold all of these different things after a while. And he was walking in the image, John Alexander Dowie. If you check out John Alexander Dowie, he did the same thing. They always been doing these same things. The same thing happening all the time. And the Christ consciousness always coming. And I was hiding the Christ conscious man from the masses. And then they always try to show themselves as the one who attain Christ consciousness. So Emmett Fox, they have all of these different people teaching about Christ consciousness and this and that. They all come from books. Not from no any experience. They never had this kind of experience. Common sense will teach you no set of people who have this kind of experience would ever want to block the sun or enslave other people. It don't happen. Don't make nobody fool you. Okay? Someone say, when you know thyself, go back and know thyself again. Okay? Someone say, any advice for me, bro? Depends on where you at on your journey. What I would advise you to do is to always believe in yourself and love yourself. And when you look in the mirror, see your higher self and your lower self. See the fact that you are the cause of everything in your life. Also, be reminded that as it is within, so is it without. Okay, always remember that. Someone say, do you read the chat? Yeah, I do read the chat, and because that's what I'm doing right now. Someone says truth, someone says thank God for Neville, but the next step is what I call sledgehammer and energy transferred on purpose. Okay. And giving thanks to Neville, nothing is wrong with that because Neville had to come to play his part. Okay, that's why even before he came, it is said that his parents was given the name. Okay. So Neville came to play his part and I came to play my part. So if you want to accept Neville, you can't vex with me for doing my part and playing my part. Neville played his part, now I'm playing my part. Neville was a part of the club. I never joined no club. I would never join no club and can never be part of no club. Neville was scripted. I am not scripted. Neville lied about Abdullah to downplay melanated people. Because that's his nature, and that's their nature, I should say. That's their nature. You can't change these people's nature. That is why when Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about unity and all of these things, it's a lie. And equality and all of these things, it's a lie. They have to play their part. You have to play your part. Just understand there's a law of opposite. The law of opposite, there will always be. It could never change. There will be positive and negative people in this world. There will always be racial segregation in this world. Don't make nobody fool you. There will always be people who would try to deceive you to make you think that the complexion of skin doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. Someone say you're seeing beyond the veil and speaking the truth. Thank you very much. I wish more people see beyond the veil and able to speak truth. Okay? Because truth is more powerful than money. You make no one fool you. One can put 1,000 to flight by energy. Yes, that's a fact. But your energy have to be in alignment. That's why I say there's no look. You find any man on YouTube who look like me, who is talking esoteric knowledge and metaphysical knowledge and talking about the Bible and all of these things, and they're not talking about the pale skin man and exposing the pale skin man. Trust me. They're one with the program. They are with the program. I'm not with the program. I would never be with the program. Okay, that's just who I am. Okay? I know exactly who I was in a past life and who I am right now. And when I say past life, there's only now. I talk about others in another cycle. Let me put it that way. So, I know. Never play his part. Okay? Now I'm playing my part. Someone would have to explain to me, right? How could you ever justify slavery while at the same time preaching and teaching consciousness, our self-realization, our liberation? It can't happen. It could never happen. You see, if you realize that your experience would all be a secret, then you see that there's no room for any secret brotherhood or any secret society. And they call these brotherhood the great white brotherhood. Everything great white. Oh my. I have to speak the truth, man. Some say I'm not going to hate on Neville because he spoke on these things way before Awake was a thing. I'm not gonna speak again. I'm not speaking against Neville. I am just speaking the truth. You see, the truth is never against someone. When you are quoting exactly what they say, but you could see beyond what they're saying. If Neville is God in the act of awakening, who am I? Why nobody answer that question? In the act of awakening, who am I? There's only one God. Don't make nobody fool in that too. That's why when I say I am God, the man, the white man from Utah, because that's where the headquarters is, he beat back his chest to say I am God. So I saying I am God and he's saying he's God. But yet on his t-shirt, he have a picture of a white man. And it says the last testament of Jesus. And he going telling people who look like me to believe in Jesus and to believe in Brigham Young and what's their so-called prophet name. All of these men they call prophet, they're so-called. What is his name again? I'm trying to remember his name. But remember, after him was Brigham Young. Joseph something was his name, but I can't bring a name right now. Joseph Smith, yeah. And then they also have the Jesus narrative. But I know the Messiah, the Christ, black. The man come to me. The man show himself to me. The man reveal himself to me. And a conversation with the black Christ. Because it's a state of consciousness, it's a state of mind. I meet the physical figure as a symbol to transmute, to bring that same figure right here and represent that figure right here before all man. I'm telling you, they have a picture of a blonde hair man. Take a picture of me, man. Keep it. And take a picture of Marcus Garvey, keep it in your house. All these thumbnails you're doing and so on, and see me in like waistcoat and tie and so on, and keep a picture. I remember my grandmother saw a picture of this pale-skinned man in a frame. And I used to wonder why my grandmother, why they were always so poor. Why they never own anything in life. I used to wonder. I get the answer, man. I get the answer. So the people, for my brother here said, I'm not going to hate on Neville. So you're saying I'm hating on Neville? I'm not hating on Neville. I'm speaking the damn truth. Someone said, I love Neville. His words are liberating. Okay? Neville words could liberate you to which level? The level of what? Getting a little bit more in life? You've been manifesting all along. Just mean you've been manifesting ignorantly. Okay, unconsciously. But manifesting and getting material things in this world and finding your true identity and your divinity is two different things. Especially if you're a melanated person. I've been called and sent to melanated people to bring a message of deliverance and liberation to them. Who receive it? Receive it. Who do not receive it, to hell with you. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and compromise. Neither am I going to sit here and hate on anyone. So to use a strong word like, oh, I'm not going to hate on Neville. Come on, man. Then you saying I'm hating on Neville. The fuck you think Neville was? You see, a lot of people in America and all of these places, because they never have any experience of Goddards and Sons. Fucking Goddard and Sons been in my country since I was a little fucking boy. They turned into Koreans in my country. These people tell the people they had to get vaccinated even if they were on probation and to get a job. The fuck you telling me? Am I hating on Neville? The fuck out of here, brother. Don't use one kind of words to me, man. I'll be real. Not hating on nobody. If you never grew up in a fucking colony, you never grew up in the Caribbean, you've been living in America all your motherfucking life, go get a passport. There's a lot of people in America need to get a motherfucking passport and travel to the islands and study the patterns of the fucking ruling class before they come and talking fucking shit on the motherfucking internet. I'm not hating on Neville. I'm just real as they come. You think it's easy? For hundreds of years, you've been fed with some false motherfucking Christ, some false motherfucking savior. You understand? Painting a picture that doesn't look like fucking you. And these people look like they're always one step of fucking ahead of you. When they live in a motherfucking lie. You want me to do? Sit down and try to be nice? I'm not a fucking preacher. I'm not your TD Jakes. I'm not your fucking Creflo Dollar. I'm a man who grew up in a motherfucking colony. That was thought I came from fucking slaves. And I awake out of the dream. The fuck, am I gonna keep quiet? I'm not gonna kiss no ass. I'm not a Louis Farrakhan and them. They're good speakers. They sound good. Martin Luther King, they sound real good. The fuck? I'm not here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm here to speak the truth. Of course, there are steps to awakening. You say Neville is one? Neville ain't no mystic, bro. I'm telling the fucking truth. After Big B was the first person to taught Neville. Neville was given books and so on. These people have been given materials for years. So they're asking like if there's some ahead of you and bring some sort of enlightenment to you, bro. But when you fucking wake up, when you really wake up as a melanated man, after what you've been taught, after what been done to your motherfucking ancestors, and you can't speak about that? You talk about hating, man? Shut the fuck up, man. Using that kind of word? Oh, I'm not hating and never. Get the fuck out of here. This is not hating. This is truth. When you read about Christ, you didn't read about no little sissy ass boy. That's why he couldn't be a pale skinned boy. Why you think they choose me? Why you think the ancestors choose me? Man, I don't even want to go on and on. So don't come and tell me this thing, Neville bullshit. All of you swallow the pill they give you with Neville. Once you break this fucking Neville shit, man, you see all the other liars. Why you think Wayne Diane never talk about any Abdullah? And why you think when these men get the millions and the billions, they go out, they build schools in Africa and these kind of places and keep you on fucking charity? The fuck you talking about? I standing with black people till the day I die. Even when they talk bullshit and talk fuckery like oh everything they hating, they make you fucking weak. So when you speak truth, it seems like you're hating on someone, you're not hating on no one. If I was to hate on someone, I would have go and like farm a whole regime of people. You understand? Like what they have in like you have Boko Haram and you have all of these different kind of groups and so on and all of that. I would have do that. When they born fucking Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, what was that? That was love. I hear you just speaking. You're telling me, well, I'm not hating on Neville. Like if somebody fucking hating on Neville. Speaking the motherfucking truth about Neville. I live in a country where Neville got a fucking family rule. The fuck you talking about? They own slaves in Barbados. They were slave owners. Fuck you talking about? Why you think the people who own the most lands in these islands, you look at the heritage? What are you talking about? Someone say yes and yes. It's the truth. He spoke, not the man. He exalts. He helps to understand Bible in a way most Christians never could imagine. Thank you for saying that. I hope you're not speaking about Neville. I hope you're speaking about me right here. Okay, because Neville wasn't speaking no truth based on his experience. Neville was just reciting books on what he was programmed to do. Because it has an agenda. These people are keepers of time. There's no certain time there will be awakened ones like myself. So they all want to be one step ahead of you. I know that. So they will chop your soul. You've been in a wilderness, going wrong. When you listen to these people and you die in a certain consciousness, being a follower, they're going to chop you. The fuck I know what I'm talking about. That's why I don't give a fuck. You understand? That's why I say what I want to say. So when people think that Neville help a bunch of people and this and that, no. Neville only could take you to a certain fucking level. So if you've been kept poor, broke, miserable, uninformed and all of that, it will seem like Neville brings something to you. He didn't bring nothing to you. When you get your real fucking awakening, then you will know what I'm talking about. There's so much fucking pretenders on the internet, pretending. About what clicks and views. Why you think they shadow ban me? Why you think these motherfuckers shadow ban me? And I don't give a fuck. So I speak, I real free. Just recently when my channel was blowing up. Speak against fucking Neville. I talk each other about Neville. It hurt them. They reach out to me too. They tell me, hey, I'm not a troll. Yeah, I know you work with fucking YouTube. That's why I don't care. That's why I'm not afraid to say free fucking Palestine. I'm not afraid to say these people down there in Israel, they're fucking fake. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say nothing. So when I speak, don't come and tell me, oh, you hate and never. I hate no fucking body. I literally don't hate nobody because I know they're playing their part. I have to play my part. I come here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm trying here to play no holy man. Me no start guru them, you know. Me speak, you know, like forum and all of those shit, you know. You see, they treat people like shit in the time of the pandemic, the scamdemic, the pandemic. This man coming and commenting that, oh, I'm not hating and never. Bro. Wake the fuck up, man. And then come in and tell me about the leaders that helped us wake up. Who leaders that help you wake up? The leaders inside of you, bro. Should be studied and move on from there. The fuck, you can't, you talking shit, man. You shit. You see, when it comes to skin color and all of these kind of things and talking about race and so on, people believe they're so fucking weak. They're so woke that you shouldn't say that. You're not woke. Oh, you want race. Get the fuck out of here. It's a chick. Someone says, I love all people. No matter the color of the skin, it's so easy to say. These motherfuckers will say anything. They love all people. It's not true. Only someone like myself here speaking here is a man of love. Get the fuck out of here. Motherfucking liars. People only say using the word love when it's fucking convenient to them. What was loving about enslaving people? Cutting babies from woman's stomach and all of these things. Hanging people. What the fuck was loving about that? And where was the pale Jesus to save them? Talking about Neville Goddard being great mistake. Get the fuck out of here with all the bunch of lies. Anything that goes up have to fucking come down. I love all people. Get the fuck out of here. I don't love all people. I don't love all people. I don't love people with fucking energy. How can I associate myself with those that kind of low kind of energy? You have people worshiping a fucking idol in your image, enslave people with a certain kind of mentality, keep them in economic slavery, keep them in mental slavery and all of these things. And you're telling me, oh, love? That's why they end up and fool them and tell them that God is love. A God that paint in their image and their likeness. No man can give me no white God. I don't believe in no fucking white God. I'll never accept no white God. I'm not afraid to say that. I think I'm going to sit here and sugarcoat. I was supposed to finish in an hour, but I'll finish up when I don't read these comments here. I'm not going to try to be nice. So when man come in and no time for hate, these are the end time. Yeah, bro, get the fuck out of here. Which end time? The only end time is when your cycle is up and you finish your work. That's the only time it's gonna fucking end. Any other end is the end of these people who've been oppressing the people of this planet. I mean, feeding the energies to these motherfucking archons, these non-physical entities. Shut the fuck up. Think you have love. You don't have no love. Genuine love is corrective. The very few melanated man could stand in the face of the white man, fucking correct him for his lies. Bunch of liars. Thieves. Rapes. rapists and so on. Everywhere they go, they plunder and steal and do all of these fucking things. And then they want to correct the entire fucking world. They believe they could move into some man country who's been elected and kidnap him and do all of these things. Block boats in the Caribbean and all of these things. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Talking shit. Trump shitting on himself. Fucking pooping in the White House and shitting on himself and things. People have to clear out. Killing people, children. I'm talking about you fighting narco fucking terrorists. Get the fuck out of here. Truth. Some people can't deal with truth. If you can't deal with truth, you can't listen to someone like me. Someone say truth. Do not make followers. Yeah, I don't want fucking followers. They make leaders. Help them to awake to their true essence. Of course. That's what I'm doing. Neville Goddard and them create fucking followers. So I'm going to sit here and try to be nice. Even the algorithm on fucking YouTube is I'm trying to find the word. Let me use the word bias for now. But that wasn't the original word I want to use. It's biased towards us. There's a different word I want to use. So when you speak, there's always some weak person who interpret what you're saying and as hate. All the shit that Trump do, nobody interpret as hate. All the shit that Putin do, nobody interpret as hate. All the things that are happening in Africa, nobody is interpreting as hate. But when you come on a platform like this and you speak, it's fucking hate. It's not hate, bro. You see, when I come on here and I be like a lamb, but when I show me lion, you telling me if you have spiritual eyes, you can't see that nothing ever change, everything continues the same way, but more in a systematic way? You telling me you can't see that? There's nothing new under the sun. A pretender will always be a pretender. The imposter will always be the imposter. That's why I don't believe in no such a thing as equality. I don't believe in no such a thing as equal rights and justice. I believe people just got to be who they are, and you be who the fuck you are. These people gotta be who they are. And you must be who you are to wake up your brothers and your sisters. Stop fucking compromise. There's so much men in America who made themselves fucking boys for fame, wearing jests and flames because they have so much people looking at them and looking up to them. And they're using them at fucking YouTube, then send them in Africa to influence young boys to be like them. You think I show you speed and all of these kind of people just getting popular and famous and fucking social media like that? You think they just get they just getting popularity and famous and social media like that? They're tools. They've been used. The fuck you talking about? Someone says so true, but only to those that can see, of course. A bunch of young people, oh, I show you speed, this, that. Yo, Kaisenat, this, that, all these people, yo. These people have been bought and fucking sold. They can't speak like me. Shit you talking about? We must remove all labels of our ass and reveal the great I am, you are. Yeah, now when the people speaking like you, Jeff Westby, talking about Hilton and Neville, Whenever you speak and you show up the pale skin man, there's always someone who's saying that you're hating. And most of the time they look like you. That's what I'm telling you. So when I deal with people like you two, we think I'm talking about is hating too? That's why I don't like people come and tell me, oh, I block like you. Fuck you. I don't like people tell me that. Because I'm not like you. Mentally speaking. So when people say, oh, I'm more like you. No. You might have the same kind of complexion, but your mind. Many are afraid to seek truth. And when instead of speak. Because they're many afraid to speak the truth too. But when they do, they become free. Of course. Truth outside of doctrine that they were taught not to question since childhood. And who was the one behind it? It's always this pale skin man. So what you telling me about? We go to school as little children and the program with this whole Jesus program and tell we mustn't question God. Our parents repeat those things to us because they get them from them. What you telling me about? Time makes dust and ashes of us all, the white and black. It doesn't, time is not even real. Death, yes, we know death is inevitable, but truth must stand. Just debate and tell me Neville was a great fucking mistake. But I'm telling you, no, it's a lie. He was scripted. He and the many others. All the comments, just tell me I'm wrong about Neville. Just tell me I'm wrong about what I'm saying about Neville. Talking about heat. Someone say, yes, Jeff West. It is slowly happening. But what I see, many get caught up in spirituality trap. It's beyond labels and beliefs. Sometimes these people who normally comment and say certain things, man, they never stick to what you're saying. I am saying Neville is a fake. Just like many all of these pale-skinned people who are these writers and so on, and you study the writing and these things, they plagiarize things. They never had the real experience. That's what I'm saying. Doubt me with that. Live the life you love and love the life you live. Okay. And that's what's happening with me right now. But most people are not living their life. People could watch me. People could type and comment anything, but they can't live it. Don't make nobody fool you. You think, when I see that man choking out George Floyd, and he said, I can't breathe, you think I would have stand there, I would have been a dead man? They would have to kill me too. A bunch of cowards. A bunch of cowards. You think the police system and so and the army system and so on is to protect anybody? Keep quiet. Anytime of the great scam, you see what policemen want to do in my country. And if you check the history of my country and you check who was the first like commissioner of police, you see was a white boy. They set up the fuckery all over the world. Nobody don't want to speak about it. People want views and love and embracement. I don't want no love and embracement from hypocrites. People who are real just like me. Most people is the Humpty Dumpty. They will all get a great fall. Beautiful to meet awakened souls from around the world. Even here, many wake up that we are all God. Who we are all God. Essence inside. No black or white. Get the fuck out of here. They will all be black and white. The fuck you telling me about? They will all be black and white. They will all be racial fucking prejudice. And then when those whites start to wake up, when they really start to wake up, they will embrace people like me for speaking the truth. When they wake up, they will realize how fucking deep they were deceived and brainwashed. They would realize they were brainwashed more than black people. We won't lie to and they won't lie to. So people want the world to come to a place that people mustn't talk about no black and white. They're talking about black and motherfucking white. Anywhere you travel in this world with a fucking passport as a black man, you be seen as a black man, cheat like a fucking black man. Don't make nobody fool you. You go to certain fucking hotels, they look at you strange, this, that, they want to know how you could afford to be in certain hotels and so on and all of these things. Even a sellout, one who sell out on YouTube, when he went to some 5-star, first-class hotel, he's saying that when the person come to pick them up, the person was kind of giving them a something and all of that. Though he's a fucking sellout. That's why I tell you, money could only carry so far. So they could give you certain liberty here and these platforms to make certain money and get certain privilege. But the privilege could only carry so far. So you're telling me about. Someone say, yeah, live the life you love. Yeah. No, I never loved the life of a fucking slave. That's why I'm telling people, don't live no life as no slave. And I'm saying the pale man wants you to live your life as a slave, as a melanated person. That's why they try to tell you Neville was a great mistake. They tell you this was a mistake. They never show you not like yourself a mistake. That's why I have to beat my chest. And you sound like ego to some people. You have to start to tell your people, look, take a photo of me and keep it in your fucking house. Keep that energy in your house. Get a photo of Marcus Garvey and so on and these other people. Live the life you love. Yeah, no matter what the rulers or puppet players do, no one can take away your choice. Get back to love, to who we are. Some people like to misuse the word love. A lot of people misuse the word love. A loving man will speak the truth even if it causes life. Someone says, same Jeff, who's asking you why? I don't know what you're talking about. This is a beautiful soul taking. I love his passion. I feel no hate. Love you all, guys. I am reading The Power of Awareness today. May you all have an amazing day. The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. You think I don't have that book? I have that book. But I telling you, those things that Neville wrote in that book, those was knowledge that was known but passed on from lip to ears, lip to ears, lip to ears, nothing new. But when you in tune with the sun, and you awake from the dream of life, all these things will be made known to you. Yes, program for sure. Till one wakes up. So, if you have anybody have any common sense and any truth in them, you know all these secret societies come from the pale skinned man. And melanated people find themselves in these secret freaking societies, most of them Prince Hall and so on, that melanated people under this kind of society. And then in Christianity, these are the people who lay the foundation of their fucking doctrine to keep you an idiot and a fool. So I could be cool. I can't be cool with them kind of thing, man. I just can't be cool. So, yes, my brother, my sister, I really, really want to thank everybody for tuning in. Okay? And anybody with common sense, there's so much people reaching out to me and say, oh, I could help you with your YouTube, this and that. I keep telling them one thing. You can't fucking help me when they shadow ban me. These motherfuckers shadow ban me from speaking the truth. And I can't just speak the truth because I don't care. They don't care about how much books you read and how much knowledge you get, is as long as you do not get the motherfucking experience. Once you get the experience of Christ and you live in that Christ consciousness and you're trying to wake up others, they're going to do anything to stop you. And that's the truth. So let me just reiterate what I was saying. These white people calling Neville Goddard a great mystic is a lie. Neville Goddard was no mistake. Okay? It's more like of a mistake. Because they make a big mistake and try to incorporate a black man to downplay the power of the melanated man by talking about, but Neville had a black mentor named Abdullah. Such a fucking lie. It's a lie. Ask them to give you more information about this Abdullah. And why this man would have all of this information and why is Ethiopia? I know they're hiding about Ethiopia, man. Keep all the punkers quiet with a bunch of lies. I have nothing against the pale man, but I could see through and through the pale man. I could see all his lies. I could see all his trickery. And that's the fact. What the fuck? I think I can play holy man. Like, I mean, I'm be like them Indian, some so-called Indian guru, you know. Them is the holiest set of man in the world. Fuck. Okay, pretenders and actors. Remember before the big pandemic, sad gurus to talk all this shit. When the pandemic, you see the real freaking side of him, because you get invited to the economic forum to speak and all of them things and holding and knocking heads with what his name? The man Schwab and all of them. That's why I did a video called Black Man You Have No Friends. The fuck yeah. Or you could have a friend. When we play in opposite, we play in opposite. The light is the darkness and the darkness is the light. So how could I hate? I just showing their nature so I could magnify my nature while they are trying to magnify their nature. So you're telling me about what hate? No hate. I have no hate for the pale skin man. I just understand the move. That's all. But I have no hate for him. Because I know he just have to play part. That's just in nature. You think a pig? He ain't gonna be a pig if you take the pig out of the mud. You could take the pig out of the mud, but you can't take the mud out of the pig. Could you find man hard you could ever find them people them who joining and real. The pale skin people who joining and real just get real hot. When they know the truth, they'll be real hot. They'll be so hot that they'll come out and speak where I speak in here. Then I got some respect for people like that. The more like them come out and start to speak the honest truth and come from their heart, then it'll be better. But for now, man, I'm speaking the damn truth. You telling me about. It's not no hate. But you know Neville was no great mystic, as they tell you. Why no great mystic look like me? That's the question you're supposed to ask Jeff B. Why all these people on social media with their agenda? Why they're not promoting true mystics like myself and so on? Why they shadow banning us on YouTube and so on? Why? Answer that, no man. So fucking stupid. Huh? Why they doing that? What are they afraid of? If you're fucking superior, why are you afraid? If there's truth, there must be fake. I'm telling you, Neville Goddard is a fake mystic. Look at real mystic here. It's a real mystic right here. When I had all of my experiences, I think I didn't know anything. I think I had any kind of knowledge. And when I get my experience, I say, if this is what it is, they're going to reach out to me. But I ain't going to sell myself short. I said, they must reach out to me. If what I'm saying and the experience I have, I said, this have to be what they were hiding. These things have to be what they were hiding. And they don't want the masses and people to know. I said, they would reach out to me. They did, more than once. Of course, your teacher is from within. Someone says, yeah, seek ye first the kingdom within. But how are you going to seek the kingdom within? You have to be honest with yourself. And you have to deny. Like the pale Jesus, they give you the idol Jesus. You curse the fucking church system. Turn your back on the church system. You have to do all of these things, the political system, all of these things to really free yourself. But some people do not realize how deep the brainwash goes, you know. You people don't understand how strong the grip of the matrix on people, and especially people in the islands, man. Where I come from? Come on. I'm gonna sit and be a nice boy. Okay? So that's why, as long as I'm on social media, because they could take down your channel, they could do all of this. You understand? Yet I'm not afraid to speak the fucking truth. They could demonetize you, they could do all of that. Yet I'm not afraid to speak the truth. Why? I had a genuine experience telling me about. So I ain't come to you try to be nice. I know Neville is a fake. Because I listen to all the things that Neville say. And when you go to the part talking about Abdullah, I know it's a lie. I know it's a lie. Why they never tell you Neville about Neville and the rose and the cross? Am I saying being a part of the rose and the cross is bad or evil? I'm not saying none of that. People always like to imply their own thing. You never hear me say anything. People could join whatever secret society they want to join, as their business. But don't tell me mystics are born out of those. Out of those clubs. No. Mystics born outside of those clubs. That's why I could tell you so. Why you think they want to do is to reach out to me to be a part of the club? The fuck are you in here? Said, no, I don't want to be a part. I'm not gonna discourage nobody and say, oh, if not to be a part of a club, if you want to go join any club, any secret society, any fraternity, you could go join them. It's your business. I know what was shown to me in the gym wall. I know all the things that was shown to me. Everything I do, I have a reason for what I do. Okay? So, me here talking about Neville, I have a reason to. Okay? I'm not hating. I'm just speaking the truth. Everything Neville speak from, he got it from books. Not really experienced, as he was saying. They remove his Wikipedia of his connection to his brotherhood and everything, and try to feed people a bunch of lies. And then after, look, anybody who have eyes to see and ears and so on and have any discernment, from time I start to expose Neville Goddard and so on and the whole Abdullah thing, you know, they build more channels from AI with Abdullah till they put a man moving and talking. But it's an AI figure they use. What made them so desperate to push this Abdullah agenda shit? Do you believe that there was a black man named Abdullah? A slave? A slave of God. A servant of God. You know no servant of God. You are God. I mean, they trick you, man. The little chick. Someone said, I saw the flame. The blue flame within the true light. You saw the flame. I am the flame. I am all of that. People talk about alchemy. I experienced alchemy itself. I became an alchemist. I changed from mortal to immortality, all of these things. You tell me about. There have to be something about the fucking melanin. You telling me? A lot of people have a bunch of knowledge about that melanin, but they never really had the real experience of fucking melanin. When you really experience your melanin, I call the real melanin the invisible fluid. When you experience that invisible fluid, you realize it could become visible and invisible, visible and invisible. You start to understand all of these things. How you think I understand all of these people with all of these books? Jack Canfield, all of these different kind of people, man. And they put them up there and they tell you, oh, there's great mistakes, there's great philosophers. What happened to the black man? What happened to us? Come on, people, wake up. Everything that was great, they painted to be white. Come on, that's how dumb they are. Fuck, you think I'm not going to say that they're dumb? They're dumb. But you're afraid to say that. Because you look up to them. I stand for truth. That's why when I leave here in my next live, I'm going to show you why they wanted to believe that Jesus was black. And I know it's a tricky thing. So you have to listen to it to know where I'm coming from. And I'm going to show you it. So I'm going to leave this live and I'm going to the next live. And I'm going to show you the trick. You know how smart these people is? If you wake up, you can't know these people, you know? Then you play your part. And then there are people who look like you going to say, oh, that's hate. That's that. That's not so. Okay? So my brother, my sisters, I really want to thank you all very much. If you like to support this work, check out the links down below. I have my books. I definitely encourage you to support my books. That's why I put the book together, The Black Mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard Mentor. That is why I'm just joking around with that whole book they're showing you. That's why many peers can people buy that book and they get angry, they get vexed. Up the upholding Neville, thinking that Neville put a black man on a pedestal. No, it's downplay and all you. And all you don't even know it. You have to just read between the lines. He's downplaying you. And you have to take the piece they put together. Neville declared that he's God in the act of awakening. And he give you a black slave named Abdullah. What do you think Abdullah mean? A slave, a servant. And he make himself God. Man, I wake up, no man, and read between lines what's saying. I using Neville's own words. What you telling me about? It's always been the agenda all along to play the role of God when they are not. I have that spark, that divine spark. I'm not going to wait until I die for someone to say, oh, he was a legend, and so on. No. I speak in it now. I am one with the Father. Who's the Father? That creative, innovative intelligence that is within, that spark. The archons can't steal your spark. They steal the energy, but they can't steal the spark. Let me end here. Someone say my family hate me because I woke up. They said that I am weird. They call you more than that. Because when you wake up and you start to see the truth and start to set you free, you would believe that you could set your family members and others free. But set yourself free. Focus on yourself. Okay? So, yeah, as I was saying, I want to thank you all very much. You know, want to support my work, you want to do a one-on-one with me, anything you want, okay, feel free. I am available, okay, to work along with you. Okay, so with that being said, I want to thank you very much. I want to say peace. Love you all. I'm out.